morning. I took a lot of anti-anxiety pills yesterday because of course I did. And I was getting a little bit loosey-goosey online, and I thought, okay, I need to stop, I need to go away, I need to sleep. So I'm sorry I didn't answer your questions yesterday, but I was not fit. I was not in a fit state to speak clearly. I have now slept and processed it, and now I'm ready to say some things. Mostly to clarify timing, because timing is key for context. And I think it's really weird that my private text messages from 18 months ago have suddenly been released now, and my name has been deliberately unredacted to cause as much trouble as possible for me, even though these text messages have nothing to do with the case. And I'm not talking about the case in the text messages, because the text messages, and this is pivotal for you to understand, because so many people have been like, how could you say those things or use those words knowing about this lawsuit? Guys, check the texts. Check the dates on the text. They were August 2024. The lawsuit wasn't filed until December 2024. There were 4 months between when I was saying those things and a lawsuit coming to light. I had no idea about any of this stuff. So I was just purely venting to my friend about how I felt about the press rollout for that fucking terrible movie. It never, ever, 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 ever seems to end with us. I didn't like the way that the press was being handled. I grew up with domestic violence in my home. I was a victim of domestic violence in my 20s. It made me feel some type of a way. It made lots of people feel some type of a way, and the way that the interviews were set up for the success of making a really, beautiful bonding interview, and was met with callous or sarcastic or cold or diluted answers, it offended me. Did I choose to pile on publicly? No, and I could have when everyone else was, but I know personally what it's like to be in the firing line as a woman in media. It's a very specific violence and vitriol you get. So I was watching this person perpetuate their own controversy, and I was like, I don't need to be a part of that. So I took it to the group chat, which is what we should all really be doing. Took it to the group chat, talked about it with my friend, who happens to be being treated very badly by some very powerful, wealthy celebrities, some of whom are involved. And I don't know about you, but when it's my girlfriend being upset by anyone, I don't care what's going on or who did what or who's to blame, I see red. I am 10 toes down, balls to the fucking wall. I will ride at dawn for my girlfriends, and they will do the same for me. And we bitch and gossip and affirm and support one another. We're just present for each other, and it's a joyous part of womanhood that I hope you all have. Maybe you don't, maybe you're all saints, but I hope you have that somewhere with someone, because it's so fun, and it's a victimless crime, because no one's ever supposed to see those text messages. Me calling her a suicide bomber is just a reference to me watching someone use their own terrible answers in interviews to blow up their own career or their own project. I found that both funny and very agitating, and I'm just kidding around in private text messages. I would never have put that out there for the world, not because I'm ashamed, but because I don't want to cause harm or trouble for that person. I don't want to make anyone feel bad. I just want to be able to express that to my friend. That's healthy. That's normal. So that's just the context I want you to have, is that those things specifically were said 4 months before a lawsuit even existed. And I just want you to be very clear about that. The fact that I've been dragged into this feels incredibly sinister. The fact that my name was unredacted, all of it just felt very targeted and very weird, and an attempt to throw me under the bus. And I know that's happened to several people now, and I find it very gross and upsetting. And I know you want to know, what do I think and feel now? I have a lot of requests asking me for my opinion and to speak on the matter. The matter is constantly updating. We're constantly getting new information. This is an active suit. I tend to never speak during an active lawsuit or court case because A, you never know what's going to come out the next day that's going to blow up in your face, and B, it's inappropriate to participate when you have a giant platform the way that I kind of do. I have several million people who follow me, so I try to just be as careful as I can and not, get dragged into the lawsuit myself. So I'm gonna wait to see how this all shakes out. I'm also, I don't really know that much about the case. I had to stop talking to my friend about it largely because she is now in the lawsuit, so we can't really talk. And then I have cursory glances of what you talk about, and you're great, and I find your parodies and stuff very funny about both of them. I don't know the ins and outs of the case, I'm sorry to say, but there's been bigger shit going on. I care more about what's happening in Palestine and Sudan and Congo and the United Kingdom and the United States, and the fact that people don't have money for healthcare or food. I'm less interested in anything that's happening with wealthy celebrities. I'm sorry. I know that this is important to so many of you, but they're the last people I'm worried about. I believe they're both going to be fine no matter what happens. They're both going to be safe and healthy and happy and fine and loved. My personal concern is elsewhere. So I don't really have anything to say. I will say that anything I did feel has now been crushed by the invasion of my privacy in this completely nonsensical, targeted way. So I actually now actively don't give a shit and don't want to hear about these people ever again. We were already sick of them. We're all sick of their faces. We're sick of hearing about this boring movie. It's got more press coverage than all of the genocides combined, I swear to God. And I don't think that we should be directing energy towards it any longer. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm annoyed at how this has all been handled in a way to sort of set me up. And I'm annoyed that people don't actually do due diligence and check the timing of when things are done that is available to you there while you're playing fucking detective. I'm annoyed about the misunderstandings. I'm not annoyed for saying villain at the time. That's how I felt at the time based on the information that was right in front of me. And yeah, man, that's how I speak. That's how I speak on Twitter. It's how I speak on my podcast. If this is the first time you've learned that I'm a British, bitchy, gossipy girl, then where have you been? So lots of love to everyone. I totally get it if you feel offended and you're very invested in this, or there's people that you care about who are, who make you feel extra invested in this, and I get it if you're angry with me, but that's how I talk to my girlfriends in private. That's how I talk about things that personally offend me. That's how I talk to a friend who is going through something and being treated a certain type of way. That's who I am. And if you're not like me and you don't like me, you must absolutely avoid me at all costs, because I don't think I'm going to change. I'm an old lady, all right? I'm a grumpy old lady. But I do send you love, and I pray for all of us that we will be released from this topic and these people soon.